Good evening. Good evening and welcome to PMR Africa's podcast, PMR Global, where we celebrate excellence and acknowledge companies, individuals, and teams across various industry sectors. We began this initiative as an extension of our various PMR platforms. Our web address is www.pmrafrica.com, and the magazine is freely available on the World Wide Web. PMR Africa includes a magazine, a research division, an events division, and most recently the podcast initiative. PMR Africa works nationally in South Africa and throughout the SADC region, and that is the Southern African Development Community. We are honored to have Mr. Richard Frankle as our guest tonight. Richard is a prominent Namibian business leader and sports administrator based in Windhoek, Namibia. He's best known as the founder and owner of a prominent quantity surveying firm, Richard Frankle and Partners, and also the managing director of Namibia Facility Management, NFM. He's also highly recognized for his leadership roles in Namibian sports. Richard, welcome, and thank you for joining us on this podcast episode. We appreciate your time and your willingness to participate tonight. Welcome.
Good evening, Johan. I hope you can hear me okay.
I can hear you well.
And thank you very much for having me.
No, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate your time and your trouble. It's a big honor for us to have you on our episode tonight. Richard, tell us a little bit about yourself, your story. Where do you come from? Where did you grow up? Your childhood days?
Thank you, Johan. Yes, I actually grew up in Johannesburg, South Africa, and I moved to Namibia in 1986. So I've been here for 40 years now. As I said, I grew up in South Africa, went to school in Johannesburg, went to go and study at the University of the Witwatersrand, and did a Bachelor of Science honors degree in quantity surveying. Thereafter, I had to do the 2-year national service training, and at that point in time, I actually had a bursary from the construction group LTA. And we were just about to finish our national training, and we were all called in and told, listen, unfortunately, we have no work for you. So I was left to job hunt, and that resulted in a job offer in Windhoek, Namibia. And so in January 1986, I arrived here in Windhoek, having never visited Windhoek in my life before.
First time ever. Yeah. No, very interesting. Today you're a business leader. So what would you say? What's the most important attributes of a successful business leader today? What attribute should one have?
Johan, yes. I believe very much in integrity. Have integrity at all times. I believe in adaptability, to be flexible. Of course, a big word is resilience. I also believe in empathy, and of course, one needs to have some kind of a vision.
Sure.
Our business environment is changing rapidly all the time, as I don't need to tell you. And we need to be agile, and we need to make decisions. When we make those decisions, we need to make them with confidence and be confident in the decisions we make. That's how I try and run the business.
Yeah. And with Richard Frankle and Partners, the quantity surveyor firm, it's one of Namibia's leading and most established quantity surveying and construction cost consulting firms. So tell us a little bit about the company's background, your development, the status. Um, just a little bit of background on that.
Sure. So as I say, I came to Namibia in 1986, and I worked for a company for 4 years, and I then took the really literally a leap of faith in 1990, and so January 1990, the same year that Namibia became independent. I decided to open up my own quantity surveying practice. At
Okay.
that stage, it was really very much a one-man show.
Yeah, yeah. And
And
if
of
we look
course,
at,
now, 36 years later, I have two business partners, Leslie Hinjo and Lawrence Dumba.
yeah,
So it's the three of us who manage the practice. And our practice employs just over 20 quantity surveyors and quantity surveyors in training.
yeah, no, well done with establishing the firm. If we look at the brand, what would you say? What does the brand represent? I know you spoke about integrity, resilience, empathy. Is that the same for the brand?
So very much, Johan. We don't sell, as you know, we don't sell products in terms of spare parts or cars or something like
Yeah,
that. So what we sell is a service. So our brand needs to represent, and we work really hard at that, because we're dealing as quantity surveyors with other people's money. We need to, as I said earlier, have integrity, um, be trustworthy, and obviously professionalism. We're selling a service, so we need to
yeah,
try and be as professional as we can
yeah,
at all times.
yeah.
So I would say that's our brand, that's the objectives of the company, and to ensure we build trust and we have a good rapport with our clients, that they, at the end of the day, really trust us with their money.
Correct. And then, what would you say? What's specifically unique about the company?
I think what has made our brand unique, Johan, is that is probably the people. So both of my business partners, both Leslie and Lawrence, have been with the company over 20 years. And both of them started at the company as students.
Sure.
And so they grew together with me and with the company. And that ethos was inbred in them. And I guess if you talk to me, you'll get the same kind of ethos from my
Yeah,
two partners.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think that makes us stand out,
yeah,
and it makes us unique in whatever we do.
yeah. And also innovative. With a uniqueness, you must also stay innovative in this game.
Absolutely. So even at my ripe old age, I've got to remind myself to constantly ensure that we're thinking out the box,
Sure.
that we are adapting to change, that we are moving with the times, that
Yeah,
we are tech savvy, that we know the tech, and if we don't know it ourselves, we make sure that the younger QSs at our firm familiarize themselves with whatever new technologies are out there.
yeah, yeah,
So it's important that we place the emphasis on mitigating the risk for our clients. How do we mitigate the risk the best way? And then, of course, as you would know, how do we turn risk from risk into opportunities?
yeah, yeah. Are you also a managing director of Namibia Facility Management (NFM)? Tell us a bit more about NFM. Can you hear me?
Sorry, Johan, you broke up there.
Yeah. I'm saying you're also the Managing Director of Namibia Facility Management, NFM. So tell us a bit more about NFM. Can you hear me?
Sure. You broke up right at the end. Sorry, Johan.
Yeah.
If you could just repeat that one.
No. If we look at NFM, you're also the Managing Director of Namibia Facilities Management. So tell us a little bit more about NFM.
Yes, quite an interesting story. In Namibia, in around about 2016, we went into a bit of a building slump within the construction industry, and we had to start being a bit innovative. And so we started doing work for the insurance companies through Namibia Facilities Management, where we would actually do we would do surveys for the insurance companies, and we would also do what they call loss adjusting. So if there was claims, we would go out and use our QS skills to determine the value, the quantum of those claims. And so when COVID came around, we were determined not to retrench any of our staff. And so we moved a couple of the staff members sideways, if I could call it that, into Namibia Facilities Management, where we placed emphasis on upskilling these people to become project managers, as well as to manage ongoing facilities. And that, in the end, actually served two purposes. We didn't need to retrench anybody. And secondly, we were able to apply our skills in a different direction. And I'm very happy to say that Namibia Facilities Management is doing really well now.
Excellent. Great. Very innovative. To create trust in the abilities of these two companies, what would you like to communicate to existing and potential role players, your stakeholders and your clients? If there's one message that you would like to, what you would like to communicate to them.
So, Johan, I still, after many years in this beautiful country, Namibia of ours, I still believe it's a land of opportunity. There are still many opportunities we have not yet explored. We are entering into what I believe is a very exciting time period, and an exciting season for Namibia, in that we are looking at the oil and gas industries. We hear very much about the exploration going on. We hear that there should be some final investment decisions, FIDs, made by some of the exploration companies in this year and in the near future. There's a lot of excitement at the moment, almost on the other end of the spectrum, regarding green energy. So we're very excited to see where that's going to go. So my word to our people out there is, especially the youngsters, is ensure that you upskill yourselves, ensure that you make yourselves aware of what is going on. And I believe the opportunities will come.
Yeah, very important. We're going to take a quick ad break, and then we will be back.
Hi, I'm Kobe Potgieter from Remax Independent Properties here in Kabega. The one thing that makes our office unique at Remax Independent, we're not only the #1 real estate office in the Eastern Cape, we are also the company with the best culture, working environments in place where agents grow. I think it's important that we look at a holistic development for our agents to make them feel appreciated, to enable them then to go into the Eastern Cape where they can carry over the spirit of Ubuntu. We operate across all major real estate sectors, including real estate sales, rentals, commercial, as well as agriculture. We proudly service a significant portion of the Gqeberha property market, representing approximately 30% of total market activity. Our success is built on strong leadership, exceptional service delivery, and a team of driven professionals who put people first. You are in expert hands, and we pride ourselves for the service excellence that we deliver every day.
Thank you, and we are back. Richard, can you tell us a bit more about your offerings, and perhaps elaborate a bit more about detail about your current projects?
Thanks, John. Yes, obviously, as quality surveyors, that is our food and drink, I guess, is to offer cost advice. Right from the get-go, we talk about cost estimation and cost planning. We also obviously do the feasibility studies for the viability, the economic viability of projects such as retail, commercial, or hotel type developments. And obviously we take that through right through from inception of a project right through to the final close off, when the project is successfully completed, hopefully within time and within budget, and to a good quality, and then hand it over to the client. And those three pillars actually are really which lead to our project management role, which we do quite a lot of. So we do offer project management services within both Namibia Facilities Management and Richard Frankle and Partners.
Okay.
What I can say is our projects are both in the public and private sector. I personally have a fondness for doing projects within the health sector. So we are currently busy with a number of both government hospital projects, as well as looking at round about 5 private hospital offerings around the country. So we're looking forward to those, and we hope that the viabilities of those will make the projects better.
That's correct. That sounds very exciting. And then with that, how do you ensure good sustainable development practices?
So it's an interesting concept, because we now try and tie in together the sort of the construction part of the project together with undertaking the life cycle costing, and trying to see where we can make our projects more sustainable in terms of looking at things like maintenance issues from the start, that where we can advise on using the correct materials that would be far better used within a low maintenance environment, than possibly something that can actually cause your client high maintenance issues later. So we're looking at those. We're looking at efficiencies on both electrical and mechanical installations. A building is there to last for a number of years, but what we don't want is a building to become a burden on a client due to maintenance. So if we can avoid those up front, we try and do that.
Sure, yeah. And what would you say, what systems have you put in place to manage both companies as world-class institutions?
Quite interesting, Johan. We are currently busy with the ISO certification,
Yeah,
which we brought about because we realized that there's always room for improvement. So at the moment, we're looking at a lot of standardization, a lot of structure. And if we believe if we put those structures in place, guided at all times by good governance principles,
yeah,
ensuring that we can compete with the best,
yeah,
that I think will keep us ahead of the game.
yeah. No, sure. And you also referred to it a bit earlier, but in today's world, one must have the ability to deal with the unexpected. So how do you deal with the unexpected?
So, yeah, Johan, I guess running a business, the unexpected and surprises are kind of inevitable. And, you've got to manage them when they come along. So, as I said earlier, as you mentioned, as I alluded to earlier, let's try and be agile in our approaches. Let's be agile in whatever we do in terms of risk management, in terms of risk mitigation, and let's see how we can turn risk, as I said earlier, into opportunity.
Yeah.
So be ready for the unexpected, address the unexpected, and do so in a professional manner.
Cool. Great. And if you look at the quantity surveyors and facilities management companies, what would you say? What are you doing to improve the quality of life of communities in and around Windhoek, Namibia, in terms of socioeconomic issues as well as fighting HIV and AIDS?
Johan, from the beginning, when I opened my practice, I've always placed a high emphasis on social contribution. So over the years, wherever we get an opportunity, we see where we can make a social difference, and that we've done on numerous occasions over the years, where we have contributed both our skills as quality surveyors and project managers, as well as our financial resources when that has allowed us to actually contribute to the upliftment and education of those around us. So I believe very much, and I very much enjoy it. I enjoy mentoring kids, the youth. In fact, I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. I'm going to be giving lectures to the young quantity surveyors in a workshop to assist them to prepare for their registration exams. And I try and instill that in not only my partners, but within the entire staff.
Yeah.
I mean, we do that, even, our health projects have also opened us up to opportunities where we have been able to contribute to the upliftment in terms of health and education. And that's ongoing. That's a given. We need to give back, and we will continue to do so.
Great, well done. What would you say? What is your vision for your companies? And with that, what's the most important lessons what you've learned so far?
So, Johan, my vision is obviously for the company to continue to grow, continue to strive to be better, to influence, to be an influence within the economy, to be an influence within society, but also to develop leaders. So I try to pass on whatever leadership skills that I may have onto those who are employed by me. We need to, as difficult as it might be for our age, Johan, we need to embrace innovation. Most importantly, we need to make a contribution to the development of Namibia, our country. So that is how I see it, and that is what I I try to install in all of us, in everyone around us.
Yeah.
So I hope that's answered your question on that.
Yeah, no, great, excellent. If one look in a broader sense, what is your outlook on the future of Namibia's construction industry? I know you mentioned oil and gas, also the green industry, but what is your outlook on the future of Namibia's construction industry?
Johan, by nature, I'm a positive person, so I think the outlook is looking really good. I think people need to take the opportunities, to take the chances that come along their way. The road is not always paved and wide like a highway. There are twists and turns, and sometimes there are boulders in the way, but I really believe that the outlook for our country is looking really good. And I really hope that the development that seems to be on the horizon, I trust that it will happen, but it will happen in a sustainable way, and it will happen in a way that does not change the ethos and makeup of our country, Namibia.
Yeah.
So I'm very positive about the future, and looking forward to the future.
No, great, excellent. And then we're just ending with some fun questions. So tell us, what do you do for fun to relax?
So over the years, I've worn different hats. I was previously involved with men's hockey. I played sport. I played cricket and hockey, but then I got involved in the management of the Namibian men's hockey side.
Yeah.
I also was the ex-president of Cricket Namibia, and currently I am, and that's due to my youngest and last born being a equestrian athlete. I'm now president of the Namibian Equestrian Federation.
Sure.
So I don't know if that's what I do for fun. What I do enjoy is I enjoy fishing. So I do fish when I can. So I do that for fun, and I also enjoy cooking in the kitchen when I get the opportunity.
I wanted to ask you what's your secret talent, so we'll leave it with that, with cooking, So.
Yeah, my secret talent, I think it differs. I like to think I can cook up a storm in the kitchen. However, my repertoire of recipes is fairly limited. My Afrikaans mother was an extremely good cook, and she made sure that her sons all learned to cook. But that was in the good old-fashioned Afrikaans way of vlees, rice, and aardappels. So, but I enjoy cooking.
Yeah, excellent. And when you touched on this, earlier in our discussion. But what legacy would you like to leave behind? And then with that, what are you passionate about? You did touch on aspects of that in our discussion.
Johan, I think I'd like to be remembered, I think, as a person who who care deeply about my family, who care deeply about my faith. I must say to you that at the end of the day, Richard Frankle and Partners is not our business. It is our Heavenly Father's business. And for me, I say that with a lot of conviction.
Yeah.
So I'd like to be remembered as a person who guided young people, who helped young people establish themselves, who made a difference in society, and who contributed to the construction industry as a whole in Namibia.
Yeah. Excellent.
So if I can leave that legacy behind, I think I will be very happy.
Yeah, excellent, sir. Any other points that you would like to highlight?
I've said it a couple of times, Johan. Namibia is a land of opportunity. Namibia has enormous potential, and people need to grasp that and to take that on board. And I believe that through the correct leadership, collaboration, and innovation, our country can only grow from strength to strength. But we do need to invest in people. If we invest in people, we will continue to build a wonderful country.
Yeah, excellent. Great. Thank you, sir. On that note, we conclude. Thank you for your time and your trouble tonight. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, Johan, and thank you for your wonderful initiative from PMR. I think it's something fantastic. It's something for us to all strive for every year. We have it in the back of our minds. How can we get better? How can we improve? And that's thanks to you and your initiative of PMR. And thank you so much for that initiative. And be assured that here in Namibia, that initiative is highly appreciated.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your kind words.
Thank you very much.
This brings us to the end of our episode tonight. Thank you, Richard Frankle, for participating in our episode. When people are recognized, they feel connected and counted, and they become passionate about their work, their life, and their purpose. And our mission remains to recognize excellence across Africa, honor high-performing teams, and establish benchmarks for organizational performance. Thank you and good night.